How's it going, Shaq?
Fine. I had to go to 2 grocery stores today.
Okay. What were you trying to accomplish?
I was just trying to get groceries, and I tell you why that's an issue. In New York, uh, doesn't really have supermarkets. I mean, you've got a few,
Right.
but not like straight up suburban supermarkets.
Yeah, it's not our strong point. I agree.
No. So you often have to go to a few of them to get what you need.
Yeah.
And this morning, for whatever reason, well, first off, I'm in a little bit of a food desert, which I believe is normally defined as if you have to go further than a mile for like a mile or more to get to a decently stocked grocery store with like vegetables and fruits and all of that kind of stuff. So I am in the world of the bodegas. So I've got plenty of bodegas on my like on one of my cross streets.
Yeah.
But only maybe 2 of them carry like vegetables.
Okay.
And things like that, which I mean is not a problem for me. I only eat sugar, but occasionally I have to cut the sugar with some salad.
Right.
So, but it's not like a place where you can like stock up your pantry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which was a concern, especially like a year ago when everything kind of shut down and it was like, oh, I have to cook. So, so, you got to go. And I mean, the stores definitely weren't prepared. My roommate only gets food stuff from bodegas, which is fine. But I'm also teaching him how to check expiration dates and know when a stew is too watery, like it's been too long, and notice where they've tried to rub off the expiration dates on food so that you'll just get it anyway. And a new thing I learned, which is that if you buy meat that's wrapped in plastic and there's a lot of air in the bag, that meat is rotting and the air is coming from the meat. When meat is rotting, it gives out a lot of gas. And so the gas is filling the plastic. And so when you get like, say, chicken that's in a plastic bag or something that's, wrapped in that cellophane around the tray, but it's very like tight because there's a lot of air in there, do not get that. That shit will kill you. Don't do it. It's been too long. So, just a lot of tight plastic bags of meat around me. So I have to go to a grocery store and it is just a smidge over a mile away.
Right.
But there are 2 of them within, I'd say like 2 blocks. Same store, same like brand of store or whatever. They just, one is on one side of the street and one's like on the other side, I guess. It depends on, and it's right next to a train station. So I guess it depends on what side of the train station you get out on. There's a grocery store there for you. But
respect them for dominating that market.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for being in it's a little wild. I think what it is one is Brooklyn and one is Queens. Okay. And I might be like right on the line of where Brooklyn and Queens meet. And so they're just like, well, this is the Queens one. And then 2 blocks away is the Brooklyn one. And you're like, all right, whatever, man. But what this means is I'm going to both of them to get things. So I went to one today and I had to make sure that I had put it in my bag deep enough so that when I walked into the second one, no one thought I was stealing salad from them or something. You know what I mean? It's just so stressful. And I'm going back to Atlanta in a couple of weeks. And I look forward to going into a Publix and just running arms outstretched down an aisle and not even reaching either of the racks. Neither of the racks. I won't touch them. If I walk down the middle of the aisle with my arms outstretched, I won't even touch the product because the aisles are so wide. And just running up and down and then just like touching cans and everything within reach, and all the people paid well enough to pretend to care if you can find everything. I can't wait.
It sounds like a dream, yo.
It really does. When I moved here, my mother, in one of her check-in calls with me, was just like, Shalewa, do you go to the grocery store? And I said, yeah, I do have to go to them. And she's like, how many do you go to? And I was kind of like, that's kind of a weird question, but I do have an answer. And I was like, well, I go to this Key Foods here. That seems to work. But then I also have to walk another block down to the Associates and then blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, that's how it was when I was there too. So I was like, damn. You mean when I was a child? You mean in the 70s, they still didn't have that shit together?
Not at all.
No. She was like, yeah, I'd have to go to 2 to 3 grocery stores to make sure I got everything for the house.
Yo.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're not ideal with that. I get that. It's not our strong point.
Yeah.
I know. I get a weird. I'm spoiled in that regard because like my dad owned like supermarkets. When I worked at Frito-Lay, like I had access to supermarkets earlier than most people.
Okay.
So like even the few vegetables we had, I got them. You know what I mean? And then like on top of that, like my uncle, he's actually a fruit vendor. Like he owns a route. So like he can get almost anything. The negative is like if he gets it, you get in like a box.
Right. Yes.
You know, so you gotta like chop, like you gotta make like a deal with the family. Like, yo, listen, we got 1 week, we getting 118 avocados.
Right.
All right. We got like 1 week to eat all these joints. So let me know who need avocados. I got you. Who going in on this box? You know, and then on top of that, you find like he gets like weird plugs. Like there was like a 7-month run where like he knew of a drug cartel that was sending bananas into Brooklyn as a cover for their drug shipment. So we was getting free bananas like every day. But it was like a box shot.
Yeah, that's a lot of banana.
It was crazy. Like my whole hood had bananas. Like Gabby's like second cousin had bananas that run. Because it was crazy. I was like, y'all gotta get rid of these. My pops, I like to make smoothies, so he brought over a box, and like a box, like I don't think people understand like
how big a box is.
Crazy,
yeah.
Like you get like a bushel is like 10 bananas. There's like 60 bushels in a solid box. Like you don't need this many bananas that year, and they're gonna expire on you this week,
right?
You know, so he would just drop off a box on me, and like. That day I was hyped, but then I'm stressed. Like, yo, I give it all these bananas. I'm like calling the hood, like, yo, I got you. I would invite people over just so I could give them bananas as parting gifts. You know? So it was real. But yeah, like I got spoiled in that regard. I do see that it's a challenge in my neighborhood. During the quarantine, we actually like for like 2 months, there was a service we used that like it sent weird vegetables that like they were like misshaped, but they were good.
Right.
So like the supermarket would reject them, but you got like a wild variety. So that way, like my kids got to eat that, and that was like nice. And it introduced me to some stuff that I never had before, admittedly.
Yeah, those are because I have a coworker who does that as well, and she would have the box delivered to the office so that she could just bring it home. You know, and I read about those, and I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a small downside to those kinds of companies, though, which is, you know, the reason that the supermarket rejects, you know, a lot of vegetables and fruits is because they're not pretty enough for us idiots out here wanting the perfect red or green apple. So they reject them. But then usually what would happen is the rejected fruits, the rejected vegetables were used to make things that needed those as ingredients.
Okay.
Right? So the ugly apples were just chopped up because they're perfectly fine apples. They're just ugly. They were chopped up. They're made into juice. I don't know if you know how much apple juice is in everything. Almost every drinking, any juice type thing, even if it doesn't say apple on it, has apple juice in it.
Right.
Other things to sweeten apple juice, pear juice, to make applesauce, to make frozen apple pies, like things like that. All these things were the ugly vegetables and fruits, but now those are being sold wholesale to customers. And so now it's like there's a run on the fruits and vegetables because they found another. It's as if someone was like, oh, well, I don't like the ugly vegetable. What if I just made nothing but the ugly vegetable box, but they're perfectly fine? And there are manufacturers who are like, but we need those. we were kind of using those so that your kids can drink Capri Sun or whatever. You know?
Holla.
So
ain't no winners in this game.
No,
okay?
Yeah. So now that shit is stretched thin. I'm just like, wow, I never really thought about that. But I've also lived in places where they had supermarkets. Like, I don't want to say that all supermarkets are the reason. Like, it still depends on where you live. It's something that really bothers me. Food scarcity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I lived near a large supermarket in Atlanta, but their produce was clearly the worst of the produce because of where the grocery store was. Every tomato looked punched. Every single one.
Like that's part of the process.
Like that was it. Like someone
Don't put
comes
these tomatoes out without punching them.
Yeah, and they just punched all of them on the bunch and then put them down. Every single one of them. And I was just like, wow, that's consistent.
We got a brand to maintain.
Yeah,
okay?
I've been digging through these tomatoes for 20 minutes. I'm not looking for a pretty one, just one that hasn't been in a fight. And
that would be one that caught a left instead of a right. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and it's not this one. It's not this particular store. But I just was so worried, and I'm sure my motions looked like I was trying to steal because you got to bring your own bags and shit. And I'm just like, no, it's just this one doesn't sell the cookies that I'm looking for, but I know they're blocked that way. So I go to the far one and then I got to drop by this one. And then I got to walk it home a mile because that's how. And it's not, luckily it doesn't feel like a lot. It's a nice, I am used to walking a mile. Like that's not a problem. And I mean, there are other grocery stores in the other direction and they are just a little under a mile, but they're also by, so that is where I have to go for particular cat food, or if I want an already cooked rotisserie chicken, they're that fancy, or a salad dressing I like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it's just not all in one place. So I'm like a hunter-gatherer, basically, is what's happening.
I'm glad you're surviving, sir.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that again. Just like, all right, I gotta get back on my route. I'm going out and killing the best pack of Oreos I can find and dragging it back to the apartment.
Yo, real talk. I really hope you have a uniform for this. Like you need a work outfit. You're doing a shift right now.
I should. I really should. I'm just, the haggard woman with a pair of headphones and a bunch of Trader Joe, canvas bags on my back, just trudging through the sunshine. It's not even that bad out, and I'm just like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not a complaint. I don't want anyone to think I'm complaining. It's just today. It dawned on me because it was the first time that I made those 2 stops in one trip where I was like, oh, I hope that this food bazaar doesn't think I'm stealing from the other food bazaar. But also, why are they 2 blocks apart and I'm still having to walk a mile to get to them? You could move one of these closer to me, B. I know you could.
You did this on purpose.
Yeah.
You saw where I lived. You made this happen.
Yeah, both of them are uphill in the snow. Come on.
They don't got no canucos by you?
What is that?
The little Spanish vegetable places?
No, I think there was one on the corner when I first moved over here, and I think the landlord priced them out. Because I remember going in and I was just like, Wait, there are ones that are inside, right? Not someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely one right on the corner. And because I remember I'm like, oh, I'll get a bottle of water before I go in the house. And I walked in and I was like, oh, okay. So this is all vegetable, all
Yeah.
fruit. I was like, okay, nice to know. But then they got priced out. And
That
then the place
sucks.
sat empty for a while. I think someone tried to put a bar in it or something, but now it's a Vietnamese spot, which
Okay.
I ain't mad at because I know the guy who owns the spot and he's a nice dude and I eat pho once a week. So I was like, hey, man, this is great because I've tried to make my own pho and it was not successful. So
There you go.
I'm fine with that.
Them things are clutch. There's 3 of them a block away from me now.
See, that's when I saw that it was gone and I didn't even go in there that much. I was just like, that's a loss. Now there's a store that is in the middle of the block, a couple of doors down from where that was, and they are one of the bodegas that they're more, it's like half is like a proper bodega and then half is vegetables and fruit. So they are fine for when I'm like, I'm not walking a mile. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are trying for sure.
Okay.
And that might also be just, part of the neighborhood changing where it's wild that there was a store that was nothing but fruit and vegetables. They got priced out. People came in here with more money and now a smaller choice of that is there for those people. And I was like, damn, we had it all right here on the corner, but some idiot was,
messed it up.
It
sucks, yo. We got 2 of the half joints. That's like half store and half like I would say even like 60% fruit vegetable.
Yeah.
And what's dope is those 2, they cater to like the Latin community of the Caribbean.
Okay.
And then the other one that's like a full fruit vegetable spot caters to more like Central American. So like you get like a full eclectic mix of fruits and vegetables. You see the same fruit in different places with different names.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's stuff that like I grew up on that like I could get at one spot, and there's stuff that Gabby grew up on that she could get from the other. And like our kids, they just have all these crazy fruits and vegetables that I would have never known about in the house because of that. But it adds value. I think that it's important. Besides the whole health aspect of it, it's how you season your food.
Yeah.
Like so much of it comes from that. And like you got these recipes you grew up on that like you can't make anymore because you
don't have all the stuff. Yeah. There is oh my goodness. There should do I feel like they should do a hidden camera show of people in the produce room of the grocery store I go to, just picking up things and going, huh? There's a lot of that. I try not, I'll look at something and I'm like, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll Google it later. Let me just try to remember because I don't want to be caught on camera like, what is this? But there's so many people who are just like, where's the broccoli? I'm mad at him. Look,
I'm definitely at the Central American one, the Conuco. I was in there and I 100% have asked like on more than one occasion, yo, this looks like the cousin of what I want.
Right.
Like where's
the one I'm looking for?
Yeah. They related, but this ain't quite it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's the other one? Well, let's if y'all got an app out there on how to find fruits and vegetables, send that Shalewa's way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, recipes on how to cook fruits and vegetables. I don't know. I'm trying to do better, and I can't. I mean, it's bad enough I gotta walk a mile. I don't like moving.
Shouts to Shy making New Year's resolutions in December. Why not?
Yeah,
okay?
Let's do it. Let's
start the change early. I like let's get into the news.
Okay.
First, confirmed U.S. case of Omicron. I don't even know how to say this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I literally have been calling it Omarion
coronavirus.
I really have.
Detected in California. That's
okay.
Right.
It touched down in Cali, huh?
That's it. It's here. CNN's Anderson Cooper and chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta host a global town hall on the Omicron variant this week. The U.S. first confirmed the case of the variant has been identified in California in a White House news briefing by Dr. Anthony Fauci. He said that the case was an individual who traveled from South Africa on November 22nd and tested positive for COVID-19 on the 29th. That individual, Fauci said, is self-quarantining and close contacts have tested negative for the coronavirus so far. The person was fully vaccinated and is experiencing mild symptoms, which are improving at this point.
All right.
That's it. Omarion is back, baby.
Not back, just here.
He's here.
Yeah. Hooray. No, not hooray. I mean, the good news is that this person was vaccinated and only experienced mild symptoms. I mean, the breakthrough case aspect of it is lousy, but I mean, Delta's still out here fucking folks up. Don't sleep, y'all. Delta is still out here fucking folks up. Just sneaky squirreling its way into a shutting garage door, just sliding underneath it. So,
yo, real talk, Delta kind of saved me this week, I gotta say. So I had like a real bad like ear infection, still have it.
Mm-hmm.
It started on Friday, like right after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, like I would power through it. Like I don't need no doctors, you know what I mean? I got tea.
Sure.
You know?
Yep.
So like my ear was throbbing, it was hurting. I'm taking like pills and drinking a lot of tea and having like Spanish gumbo. You know what I mean? And then while I'm sleeping, trying to rest this off, Gabby gets a call from the school saying that Michaela had a COVID exposure.
Ooh.
So everybody got to get tested and she has to stay at home for the week. So because of that, we all got tested. Everybody came back negative, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
But since I was already at the doctor, Gabby reminded them, hey, my uncle's stubborn and doesn't realize you also cover other topics. You should check his ear. And they gave me some medicine for that. So, yeah, that's why, we had to adjust the date, actually, because if we would have recorded when we normally recorded, I would not have heard you at all. Now, I can hear you slightly on the right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's improvement, but all that because of Delta, because I was scared that I had Delta. That's why I went to the doctor and I got my ear fixed. But yeah, here we are. So shouts to Delta. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna give shout outs to Delta. Me and Delta got beef. You know what you did.
Another news, body spray recall. What the fuck? Maybe out here, baby. We going from top to top, baby.
Yo, oh my goodness. We got to do it quick while he's got the hearing in his ear. So let's go on. All right, let's do it.
Benzene, a known cancer-causing chemical, was found in over half of 108 batches of antiperspirant and deodorant body sprays from 30 different brands, according to a citizen's petition filed this month with the U.S. FDA. Benzene should not be used in the manufacture of drug substances or products because it is a class 1 solvent with unacceptable toxicity. However, the FDA did allow temporary use of benzene in liquid hand sanitizers during the pandemic, setting the upper limit to 2 parts per million. Why are we trying to squeeze in shit that we know is painful?
Because we know it's going to kill. I think the mindset was, well, I mean, it could kill us, but what if it's on our side?
Why?
You know what I mean? Like,
that's terrible.
Yeah. Like, yes, bleach could kill us, but what if I just rubbed it on me anyway? I think if we all just agree that we need to be anti-COVID, me, bleach, benzene, whatever. Yeah, we all are anti-COVID, so we can work in Congress of each other.
Well, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has set a much lower limit, 5 parts per billion, for exposure to benzene in drinking water. The agency has also set a goal of 0 parts per billion for benzene in drinking water in the future.
Okay, this is great. I need to figure out which deodorants are going to for sure kill me.
Old Spice, high endurance AP spray pure sport. Old Spice, hardest working. Yo, I love these names. Hardest working collection, invisible spray, stronger swagger. Old Spice, hardest working. I can't read all these names.
No, that's a lot of Old Spice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Old Spices 1, 2, 3 secret aerosol powder freshes.
Okay.
A secret fresh 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And secret Outlast. A lot of secret out here. And another Old Spice Pure Sport.
Okay,
so basically Old Spice and secret, yo, dodge them dudes.
All right, but this is the spray kind, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. I mean, honestly, I'm good because all right, here's a little fun. Here's a little fun fact about me and the pandemic. I kind of stopped wearing deodorant.
Okay.
Because I felt like I'm not going anywhere and I probably need to use up whatever is clogged in my in the pores of my armpits. Let's use up the reserve first before I put a little more on. So, yeah, I don't think I stink. And anyone else here is sweet enough to let me believe that. But I truly don't do anything. I'm not doing anything. So for me now, it's like I don't really sweat. I don't have much of a smell, which was kind of the case before. I think I was, but I will have like a nervous sweat, and nervous BO is different from regular.
Right, I agree.
So it's like when I'm flying, it's usually when I'm like, oh, how is that possible? I took a shower just before I got to the airport and I smell like I've been in the fields. But it's because I also have been worried about dying for 2 hours or 4, however long I've been in the air.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So sometimes, and I guess maybe that now happens on a smaller level, but it still happens a little bit when I perform.
Okay.
Which I did not know. So now when I'm performing, I'm like, okay, I know I have to put on deodorant today because there may be a nervous thing. Or if I am doing something else and a performance or, something like that. If I'm doing 2 activities in the day, all right. Okay. All right. If I have to swipe my Metro card 3 times, all right, great.
You can swipe the underarm once.
Yeah, at least. But I don't. What do you do?
I started using it. I stopped for like a week or 2 into the quarantine, and I went right back because I realized that it gave away if I was trying to have intimate time with Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yep. If I'm putting on deodorant after like a week of no deodorant in the house, she know I'm being too nice. Like, oh, okay, you gonna do like I'm doing the dishes, I'm wearing deodorant, I'm trying to set something up. I need the element of surprise. You know what I mean? It gives away the game too early. You know what I mean? And she can see it coming. I gotta do some. There's no mystique,
Oh, sure. Yes. That is the most sitcom thing you've ever said. That is so wild. But again, I'm single, so I guess these are the little things that you would notice. I'm pretty sure I would notice if a dude I was involved with suddenly smelled like Axe.
I'm telling you.
I'd be like, okay, all right, what's going on? It's either me or someone else.
And I'm in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it becomes Pavlovian after a while. Like I'm just training her. Like she know, if I smell like Old Spice, she knows it's about to go down today.
Right.
No, I can't do that. No. You gotta be mystique in the relationship.
Okay.
Astronauts celebrate a record-breaking chili harvest in space with Taco Night. That's right. While we were eating Thanksgiving leftovers and shopping sales on Black Friday, astronauts on the International Space Station had a special taco night to celebrate their second successful chili pepper harvest. As with the first historic chili pepper picking on October 29th, and NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei had the honor of completing the longest plant experiment in history of space on November 26th. It went 137 days, beginning in July. Although 12 of the peppers will be returned to Earth, the crew, including NASA astronauts Raja Chari, Dr. Thomas Mashburn, Caleb Barron, and the European Space Agency astronauts, they sampled some of the 26 chili peppers grown from 4 plants. This experiment broke the record for feeding the most astronauts from a space-grown crop. That's right, baby.
I didn't know our astronauts are out there starving for peppers. We just have them float. Doesn't it seem like the worst place in the world to try a pepper is in space?
Yeah, like, yo, am I the only one that thinks like space like just makes you thirsty? Like, I just assume you out there like, yo, I want some Gatorade or water. I don't know how I make that connection. I'm just saying that's how I feel.
I've never heard that or thought that before, but I also can't see why it wouldn't.
Every time I see them dudes up there, they just all look like, yo.
They're thirsty. I mean, they've got to be dehydrated. It's not humid. Is space humid? I feel like it's a dry space. Like,
yeah. Like nobody's sweating in the movies.
Nobody's sweating. Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
Gastor, I think you're on to something.
Yeah, I just got thirsty thinking about that shit.
Yo, I almost knocked over a glass of water laughing at it. So that is so wild, but that is. All right, look, if there are any astronauts out there listening, let us know if you're thirsty. Let us know if they supply milk for you to drink after eating chili peppers in space. That just seems like a horrible place to, well, I guess you don't have to keep your helmet on all the time, but just be floating around with reflux that just sounds terrible. I don't want to have reflux in zero gravity. Do you understand? It is risky enough just sitting still, hoping that things will digest. Now I'm floating with peppers and no milk, only Tang or whatever they're making them drink. No.
And you know that milk is powdered. Like,
yeah, it's so now you're burning up, and you've probably got seeds on your hand, and you got to mix your milk.
Nah, man, that's not that's
nope. Mm-mm. No,
you went to school too long to be suffering like that. Okay?
Also, people who are into chili peppers, look, if there are any listeners out there who are into chili peppers, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening. But when y'all get together and start talking about chili peppers, you're the worst. You're the worst. And it could be because I don't necessarily care about chili peppers or whatever. But at some point, it stopped being about flavor and just started being about burning yourself from the inside out. And you're the worst. You're like people who talk about The Wire. I don't care. I don't care. Stop it. Oh, no.
I love it. The Wire, peppers. Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. So I'm sure this dude is just an annoying pepper dude who's just like, what if we grew chili peppers in space? And they're like, whatever, man.
Fine, man. You going? You going? Because I don't want to go.
I don't want to do it.
You need these peppers? Go. Good. I'm trying to be at home for Thanksgiving. All right.
Right.
Take those peppers with you.
Oh my gosh.
The world's most expensive city of 2021 has been announced. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All over the world. It's been a tough year on wallets. Several reasons, obviously, supply chain blockages, change in customer demand, et cetera, et cetera. And one city has been experiencing a more rapid change than most. That's right. Climbing up from 5th place to 1st. Tel Aviv, Israel, has been officially declared the world's most expensive city to live in.
Congrats.
Shouts to y'all right there making it happen.
Well done, Tel Aviv.
Paris, France, and Singapore top 2nd. 4th place, you have Zurich, Switzerland. 5th place, Hong Kong. And in 6th, New York City. Look at that, man. We borderline, like, hospitable out here. We good. You know what I mean?
We're 6th.
You know what I mean? We dropped to 6th. LA is in 9th. And also, I was surprised. They're the only 2 U.S. cities.
I'm not surprised.
In the top 20.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little surprised that San Francisco is not in it, but I think they were hit hard enough that maybe their numbers dropped. Yeah. But I am not surprised by New York, and I am not surprised by L.A. being in it. They're always in it. As one of the most expensive cities on the planet, New York and LA is always in it. Look, man, I could walk to the corner, not touch a thing, and somehow spend $30.
That's what we do here, baby.
Yeah, you take our money. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. I absolutely believe it. That it's number 6, I guess, is to me. I'm like, I'd rather you'd be number 8, 9. I'd love it if you were at the bottom there. So at least I'd be like, well, I mean, of the most expensive cities, it's not the most expensive, but 6 is still in the halfway point where people are like, why are you living there again? And I'm like,
wow.
Culture. As I cry, culture.
And we the only people crazy enough to pick a job where like you either get 6 or 9. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you gonna leave New York? You going to LA? You still top 10?
Right, expensive. Exactly. Oh, you want to move for your job? Well, guess what?
Knock yourself out. You want to talk about food deserts?
Oh.
Know what I mean? We'll send you to LA where you the only thing within that mile. Period. It's just you and sand.
Oh man!
Shouts to Tel Aviv.
I guess. Congrats. Are you happy about that, Tel Aviv? I don't know. I mean, wait, what was number 2? Oh, there was like a tie.
Yeah.
So the tie was Paris and who? Wait, where is it?
Yo, they come up right there.
Oh my God. Wait. Hold on. I can't even find it anymore. Who number 2 was. Anyway, so that's.
You got, hold on. There you go. Scrolled off of me again. You got Paris, France, and Singapore.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. What is Paris doing?
I don't know. They doing numbers. Then you got Zurich at 4.
Uh-huh.
Hong Kong at 5.
I get
and then
that.
we at 6.
See, I think I've also never been anywhere. So I'm literally just basing this on movies I've seen. But I feel like Paris still has you believe that you could pick up a baguette from somewhere and maybe a friendly mouse will give you a piece of cheese and you can live off of that for like 13, 14 years.
Yo, real talk, I'm with you.
Like I thought
Paris was like cheap.
No, I didn't think it was cheap, but I thought that there were areas that was just like Paris, like where, Louis Vuitton is tap dancing on cobblestone streets and shit, and they're not selling purses to Oprah and everything. So I know they on some fuck shit. But
yeah.
I also thought around the corner, though, you could buy a loaf of bread and I guess 2 eggs and be happy.
I thought Paris was like Philly. Like, they got sports teams, but they also got like a hood.
Wait, Paris doesn't even have sports teams, though, do they?
I would assume they got soccer, but I don't know. I really don't. Yo, if you from Paris, others know.
Yeah, I mean? Absolutely.
What's popping out there? I was trying to look
There's like the Paris Bulldogs or something. The Parisian Wildcats. Let us know what's going on out there.
And if there isn't, there should be. Those are great names. I want those to exist so bad.
That's merch. Mark it down. We're going to make hats and shirts of the Parisian Wildcats.
We're going to invent a sports team. Just so we can
a leopard with a beret on. Get the patent pending. No one do that. That's ours.
Oh, man. In other news, McDonald's offers a rare treat. It's making a comeback. That's right. 'Tis the season for McDonald's to bring back a fan favorite, the holiday pie. The dessert has returned to menus in select regions across the U.S. Company confirmed. McDonald's has released the festive pastry for the past 10 years, but the areas of the availability have varied. Fans have spotted the pie in places including Oregon, Illinois, and Texas so far.
Oh, gross. That looks gross.
It honestly was way too sweet. I had one of these.
Really? I've never heard of the holiday pie. I hadn't heard of it
either, but they offered it to me when I did the drive-thru last week.
So it's here?
It's here. That's the only reason I even knew what this was. I went through the drive-thru and they said, would you like a holiday pie? My wife likes their apple pies. I was like, I'll gamble on this. And it sounds festive. So I thought it was a thing. I brought it in and Gabby looked at it. She's like, I'm not going to like this. And she took a bite. She said, I don't like this.
When you see, look, it's in let me explain how it looks to our listeners. It is the same iconic shape as the apple pie. So it's
Right.
just it's a rectangle, just a little turnover-y looking thing with bloop bloop, 3 little slits in it to let the goodness, the sweetness air out, right? But
Yeah.
instead of apples with cinnamon and sugar on it, it seems to have like sugar and also sprinkles, and the inside is a custard. So gross. It just looks
I agree.
gross. Who wants a custard? I mean, people like. I'm not anti-custard.
Like the thing, it tasted like too much good. Like if that makes sense. Like it's like when like you make like when you make like Kool-Aid, but you don't put enough water.
Yes,
that's like
too much
that's
sugar.
what chewing this was. Yeah.
Okay.
It was too sweet. Like this custard should be for like 10 people, not one. The same ingredients. They should have just added water and baked it.
Yeah, made more. Okay.
And the 10 of us would have been happy.
All right.
Like individually, it was a rush. Yeah, no, it was a little much for me. But shouts to making those people happy in Oregon, Illinois, and Texas. If y'all asking for this, it's out there. You know what I mean?
I may have to just kind of search it out. I'm curious. It's part of. Wait, is this part of Mariah's menu?
Yeah, it looks like it. The pie is just one of McDonald's holiday promotions, along with the fast food chain partnering with Mariah Carey to offer different free menu items each day, dubbed the Mariah menu.
Oh, wow. I can't even imagine like the run on McDonald's. Are they ready for people to... Also, what are Mariah's like...
When has Mariah been to a McDonald's? When was the last time she did that?
Don't sleep. I bet that bitch is in... Because they're 24 hours, a lot of them, the drive-thrus out in the world. Yeah. So I bet you she has somebody roll through. And she gets... Yeah, I bet. If she's...
I didn't think she had McDonald's in like a decade.
Maybe. But we are now appreciating her for more than her looks. And I bet she's back to McDonald's again.
Enjoy that Mickey D's. Right?
Look, if you have McDonald's in your system at any point, it gets back to you. You can stop for a long time, but it figures out. It's in you now. It's in your DNA.
That's it. Forever.
It's in there. Yeah, so you can
the
still.
Kids want it. They ain't even here yet. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, like, look at that. The first thing I said when I saw this pie was gross. And what did I just say? I'll give it a try. What the fuck?
It's powerful, yo. Yeah. Yo, shouts to McDonald's marketing team. They know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, it really does seem gross. I'll split it with my roommate.
In other comebacks, Toys R Us is opening a new store again. That's right.
What?
Toys R Us is opening a new store, Sha. It's about to be a year after their initial planned relaunch didn't work out. But the retailer's parent company, WHP Global, announced it will open a store in New Jersey's American Dream Mall in mid-December. In a press release, the company said the 20,000 square foot two-story location is reminiscent of the beloved toy store customers know and love, and includes an ice cream parlor, multi-level slide, and of course, rows of toys to purchase.
I ain't sliding down no fucking... I mean, all right, it's for the kids. I know it's for the kids, but...
And shit is, you gotta slide if your kids slide.
No, you don't. You know what?
The stairs ain't gonna be next to that. They do that on purpose. I've been to these shits. Like, you go up the stairs, you gotta go around and to get online, and then you stuck. Like, yo, your kid slided, you could meet him down there, and then they push you in. Like, it only works for like happy homes. Like, if you're there on your own, or if you're the only parent that day, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Look, let me tell you
ain't
something.
got a parent down there catching the kid on the other side of the slide. Nah, man.
Well, let me tell you, I'm a hard-headed person. I'll tell you this. At the Six Flags Over Georgia, the amusement park, there was, and I haven't been in a very long time, but when I was a kid, there was a part of the park, in order to cross over, they had one of those rickety rope bridges, where it's planks of wood held together with rope and then tied to a couple of trees or banisters or something. And it kind of, it wasn't really tethered, so it kind of swung and whatever. Yeah. And you're supposed to go across it. But it was the only way. The only other way was to go like damn near to the other side of the park and cross whatever bridge that was. And I saw that as a child and I was like, nope. And my family was like, okay, cousins and aunts who are big on teasing, like, all right, well, you're going to have to go down to the other side. Are you going to do that? And I said, I will meet y'all over there. And I walked over to the other side. And an older cousin came and caught up with me and was just like, wow, you're really going to do this? And I was like, I'm not getting on that thing.
Respect.
And they were like, okay. So trust me, if I had children and we got up to the top and they're like, the only way down this slide, and I'd be like, all right, stranger danger, I'll just meet you at the bottom. I'll leave my children to slide, and I'll see them when I see them. I will see them when I see them.
I don't know why I heard Will Smith like telling Jaden, and don't you ever let anybody tell you can't do something. Okay?
Right. Yeah, I would raise very independent children who would know how to go down the slide, but then also wait to the side for their scaredy cat mother who is not sliding down plastic and snot to be with them.
There you go.
Nope, not the kid. Not doing it.
Well, this is going to be the first of 400 new locations, by the way, opening up next year. They're going to be opening up inside of a bunch of Macy's.
There are 400 Macy's?
Yeah, learning two things in this article.
God, okay.
I thought there was one per state. Nope. They out here.
One in the Macy's capital city for every state, and then maybe a secondary one for others.
I didn't even know 400 people went inside of Macy's.
Hey, man, look,
Respect.
I'm shitting on Macy's, but they got some good deals because no one's ever in there. But they still keep getting the merchandise. When you get a Macy's coupon, trust me, they may owe you money. If you keep a Macy's card, keep that balance paid down, get them coupons in the mail, you go in there with that shit, that is good. Better than currency. You are good. That is sneaky, especially if you need some cheap ass work clothes or something. I'll give that to you for free. That's for you.
Look at that.
Yep.
Today's advice.
Yeah.
Courtesy is shot.
Yeah, hopefully you are near one of the 400 of them.
Oh, man. Finally, MLB confirms it used 2 sets of baseballs with differing weights during the 2021 season. That's right. MLB used 2 different baseballs over the course of the season, unbeknownst to the players. Madness right there. In the statement to Davis, the league acknowledged using balls with slightly different weights in the center, which affected how far each ball would travel. The league cited the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic for the situation. Davis cited a study from astrophysicist Meredith Wills in which she examined hundreds of baseballs from 15 different stadiums. Willis found the Major League Baseball followed its plan to bring in a new lighter ball into circulation with the intention of cutting down the number of home runs. However, Willis also discovered some baseballs adhered to the old measurements and were heavier.
Okay, so as our resident baseball expert,
how
does this make you feel? And also, shouldn't they be able to tell the difference in the weights?
It's pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it sucks in a lot of ways as a fan,
right?
Because I appreciate home runs, and the fun moment that it creates, and that only happens with lighter balls. I also understand that ironically, the heavy ball is in pursuit of what fans have also complained about, which is long games.
Oh.
Because the heavy ball creates more outs, which makes the game faster.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, okay. So
because they were trying to the game was taking too long. You still got 4-hour games.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was one of the first years where the baseball game got shorter than the year prior by 15 minutes. Still a long game,
mm-hmm.
but it was noticeably shorter overall. And one of the things is this, there were less home runs, there were more outs.
And that would be due to a heavier ball.
Exactly.
So
The ball wouldn't travel as far. So like
so
a
you could
ball that
just
would have been a home run would have been out. The inning continue. The inning goes forward and so on and so forth. So it creates a faster game, but
Mhm.
it's now a boring game because there's less home runs.
Right.
Also, in as a Yankee fan, the team specifically built their team on the idea of hitting a lot of home runs. And if this happened, in theory, like you would have strategically built your team differently. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
you have teams that like you would shift to like, oh, I should get like a lot of contact hitters, like players that like hit singles and doubles
Right.
instead of players that focus on home runs if you know the ball's heavier.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So it
wow.
literally changes the whole strategy of what you do. Even the pitchers you sign, like there's pitchers that like are known for being ground ball pitchers versus fly ball pitchers. If I know the ball's heavier, I could gamble on more fly ball pitchers because the ball won't go as far. Whereas if I know they got the light ball, I want ground ball pitchers because I can't gamble that every time a fly ball gets popped up, it's gonna go over the fence because it's too light. It changes a lot of the strategy of the game.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Huh. I didn't know it was that deep.
Yo, it's real. It's like the deflated footballs for the
Right.
players. You know, same idea. Like everybody was wondering how the Patriots never fumbled the balls because they bought the ball that they had in their games was literally easier to hold.
Oh, because it
You
was
know?
slightly deflated. Lord,
Exactly.
child, you just explained that to me. I was just like, what's wrong with their flat ass balls? And then I just
Yeah.
quit paying attention. I guess I saw a piece of foil or something. Something sparkly. I'm like, I forgot. Oh,
Hey, it
wow.
changes the game like a lot because it affects a lot of the strat. It's not a problem if it's happening if everyone's aware.
Right.
It's like if only one team knows that this is the case, or
Mm-hmm.
if only certain like this. She said they did this in 15 stadiums. So like if like the different weights I guess were used evenly in each game, it's not so much of an issue in
Right.
terms of fairness. But you still want to be aware of it because the year prior during the off season, you would sign different players and you literally value them differently based on what they do on the field with these type of balls.
Okay. All right. So here's something in this piece as well. The league cited effects of the COVID-19 pandemic for the situation. Quote, generally, balls are produced 6 to 12 months prior to being used in a game because
Yeah.
Rawling was forced to reduce capacity at its manufacturing facility due to COVID-19. The supply of recentered baseballs was not sufficient to cover the entirety of the 2021 season. To address this issue, Rawlings incorporated excess inventory into its shipments to clubs to provide a full complement of baseballs for the 2021. So they sent a fleet of balls of both sides, of both sizes. And wow, okay. But then Rawlings began to make the new ball in October 2019, well before the official announcement about the change. And the company went back to producing the old ball in January 2020 before the pandemic shut it down. So,
Mm.
what is truth? How you gonna blame it on the shutdown and COVID-19 when y'all had already gone back to making the old balls after making
Uh-huh.
the new ones and then ship? Okay, okay.
Get your story right, all right?
Come on now.
We
Interesting.
cracking down on this right here. And they already had like a crazy year last year, like I don't know if you remember the sticky substance thing.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so they already had like a crazy year in terms of like controlling the ball and the trajectory of it, and annoying both pitchers and batters. So like here we are, MLB, get your shit. Like, I'm disturbed so much because like it's a sport I love, but man, over and over again, yo, y'all could just keep getting in the way. You know what I mean? Just make it straightforward. Let people go out there and play the game. Let them have fun. Accept your place now. You are officially not top two in America. That's cool. It's fine.
It's all right.
But if you keep trying to like do like, cause every time that something goes wrong, it's the other sports. It's like somebody did something off the field. That's a character issue. We can get rid of that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball is the only sport where like it feels like, oh, we caught the league doing some shady shit.
Right.
Just players, you know? Like,
Right.
why y'all trying to cheat these dudes? Just let them play the game straight up. And you're not even like cheating one side. I would understand that. Like, oh, we want these dudes to win.
Right.
Y'all just cheating at you, frustrating everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the logic of it. Just let them dudes play ball. They about to go on strike this week anyway.
You think
Their
so?
contract just ran out. Yeah, I think they're going to strike heavy. You have a lot of dudes pissed off. I think they want their sticky thing back. That's going to be the first. Because the pitchers need it for control, and also the batters are scared of these pitchers out there throwing the ball without control.
Right.
So it's like both sides want it. So sticky coming back heavy. You got like this whole like, they got this weird hustle where like you can only apply for like free agency after like a certain amount of years. But the first year, there's like a weird trick that like teams do for like really talented young players, where like in spring training, if they're killing it, they'll like send them back to the minors and bring them up 21 days later.
Right.
And like it just meets the minimum of them not qualifying as a full pro that year. So they get like an extra year of that player in the minors,
but not having to pay them the money.
Not having to pay them the money.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other aspect, unlike all the other major sports, they get paid the latest. Ooh. So basketball players, football players, you're getting paid at 2021 solid money. By 25, you're getting paid. Whereas you could be like a star in baseball and not get like free agency money till you like 30. You know, like Andrew, Judge on the Yankees. That dude's a 29-year-old, finally about to hit like free agency and get big money from the Yankees in a year. Meanwhile, like he probably only got like 5-6 years left of peak production,
right?
Because you know he was in the minor leagues till he was 24. You know, and in basketball, he would have been getting paid peak money
right
that whole time. You know, even while he's developing, because he would still have been a star. So yeah, all that. I'm on my soapbox today.
I love it.
About baseball. I'm here. Get these dudes their money. Keep the ball light or heavy. Just let them know the situation. Let them have their sticky shit. Eyes for people's safety. And also, a little bit of baseball needs a little bit of shadiness, but it should be from the players, not the league. All right.
Let them do it. Let them develop it. They'll figure out. They'll figure out how to be shady. Sticky shit's cool.
Like I had no problem with the trash can banging. That's just silly baseball shit. That's cool. Do it, and it hurt my team, but I was okay with it. That's silly shit you hear about. That makes sense. I want to hear about how the league
lying about these balls.
Lying about these balls. It's nonsense. All right, you guys are billionaires. Why are you doing this? Let these poor Dominican guys who swam here make their money fairly. Okay, they earned that shit. That dude defected from Cuba, learned the language to pitch for you, and you can't even tell him the weight of the baseball. The nerve of you, okay? The goddamn nerve.
This is so great. This is fair. I'm so glad we ended with a Gastor rant.
If you would like me to be baseball's new commissioner.
I say we do. Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show.
That's all it takes.
If you're an Apple listener, please rate the show. We appreciate it. Genuinely, 4 stars means you okay with this baseball back and forth nonsense. 5 stars, you putting your foot down. You putting Gastor in charge. He's picking a baseball. He's letting everybody know exactly what it is. Put all the sticky shit you want on that baseball too. If you got any news articles you'd like us to cover, DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. You said somebody shared this article too,
yes, right? Black Lady Blue sent that to me.
Major props.
With you in mind.
I appreciate this.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's dope. You hit the heart right here. That was dope. With all that said, my name is Gastor Almonte, always with the homie Shalewa Sharpe. This has been a War Report, the first one with me as baseball's new commissioner. Catch you all next week. Peace.